This morning, Larry Summers, the former Treasury Secretary and Director of the National Economic Council during both the Clinton and Obama administrations, says he is deeply ashamed for his relationship and communication with convicted sex predator Jeffrey Epstein. That was revealed through hundreds of messages. He said he's now stepping away from public life as the GOP calls for more investigations into former Democratic administration officials. Joining us this morning to discuss is former head of the Chicago PD and retired FBI special agent in charge, Jody Weis. Jody, good morning to you. We know that House vote expected later today on this resolution for the DOJ to release all unclassified documents related to Epstein. The president has encouraged House Republicans to go ahead and vote for it. He said he has nothing to hide and says this, quote, Democratic hoax is perpetrated by radical left lunatics to deflect, he says, from the success of the Republican Party. The issue, though, is that we're talking about unclassified reports. So if it's heavily redacted, what new information will come from this, do you think, Jody?
Jen, I think we're going to see a lot of emails. I think we're going to see some investigative documentation, financial records, flight records. If the bill is written properly, although it's not classified, it's always been considered very sensitive and secret federal grand jury information. And don't forget, there were 2 trials of Maxwell, so all those documents should be making their way out to the public.
So before we saw the Oversight Committee in the House there declassify thousands of documents, but no new information has been revealed. So what is left?
I think what's out there that people want to see is going to be Epstein's network, and that's going to be billionaires, politicians, who was really involved with this scumbag. We're going to probably see that. I think there going to still be some questions. I don't think the quote Epstein List is going to be published, and I think people might see some investigative leads that weren't pursued, and they're going to be scratching their head and ask themselves why not. But here's what I hope. I do hope that now the victims will finally get a voice. I hope the public will get the level of transparency that they see, and I really hope the elites start to squirm a little bit when they start seeing the choices they made have resulted in this list coming public.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of names have already come out. Let's just be real. There's 50,000 pages of documents have been released. Trump said yesterday to reporters that the fixation on Epstein was another Russian hoax. He said Democrats like Larry Summers were now being looked at very seriously over his ties to Epstein. He also said, quote, we have nothing to do with Epstein. He said the Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats. This is what Trump said yesterday to reporters. Do you believe that a politicized FBI and DOJ would not have already leaked something from either side, quite frankly, because this has gone on since, 2006? Or do you think there is any cover-up period?
I do think that the last administration definitely would have released any information that might be there on Trump. You can be guaranteed that. I do think this release, though, will hopefully put an end to this drip, 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 drip of information that is purely a distraction to the president right now. So hopefully this will all come out. I'm really happy President Trump encouraged that, recommended it, and get this out there so people can see what it really is and maybe what it isn't.
I'm curious, too, when there's a change of guard from the administration, because you have to assume this has been going on since Obama and then the first Trump presidency and then now with Biden and now with Trump again. When you have new agents, new set of eyes on cases, doesn't that mean more chances for more information to be released or just the opposite?
It could be, Jen, but it depends where the case is. Epstein is dead. There's been 2 trials. So being that the case has gone to a logical fruition and it's come to a kind of final disposition, usually those cases remain closed unless there's an appeal or maybe a new trial that's coming up. But I would have expected this case to be over. I think the president expected this case to be over. But sadly, some members of Congress just want to be pushing this. So good move, getting it out. Let's be done with this.
Is there any information that would be withheld?
Yeah, of course, the victim's information would be withheld. You certainly don't want that to go out, but I'm hopefully a lot of this information going out. This case should not be classified. I don't see any reason that it would actually be classified under the traditional classification standards. A lot of sensitive information, but we'll have to see what comes out of there. But yeah, we should not see anything on the victims.
Former head of the Chicago PD and retired FBI special agent in charge, Jody Weis. Great talking to you. Thanks for joining us this morning.
You too, Jan. Great to see you.
You too.